Cam, do you think censored
Before-
CP should be allowed on YouTube?
What is it?
Do you think censored child should be allowed on the platform called YouTube?
If you edit it and censor it and it's in context to
Okay, so
exposing something
you're not
bad,
listening
yes.
to what I'm saying. You're take the
You're
earplugs
dumb.
out,
Stop
right?
asking me questions. If you're stop
Retard,
asking me
listen to what the
questions.
I'm saying. You stupid.
Womp
Listen to
womp.
me, okay? Shut the up. Listen to me. Censored. I said censored. The first word in that question was censored. Do you think censored should be allowed on YouTube? Yes or no?
Yes, depending on the context. And
Okay,
if it's
you're
used
Yes, that was the infamous genius commentator known as CamNuggets defending the distribution of what he believed to be censored CSAM. Now, some of you may be wondering what is driving me to make this video, and it's because after a heated debate featuring Mrao, CamNuggets, Beckett, and yours truly, CamNuggets decided to misrepresent me and make a community post to thousands of people of a tweet without any context. But before we get into that, how did we get here? There is an incredibly important story to tell here. On October 26, 2024, Rosanna Pansino and DogPack released a video titled MrBeast Knew All Along. In this video, they made some incredibly slanderous allegations against Ava Chris Tyson and MrBeast, where they implicate not just Ava Chris Tyson, but the entire MrBeast company, including Jimmy, of distributing what Rosanna and DogPack believe to be CSAM of a 13-year-old Ivanka Trump. Not just that, but they also lied about this being a work group chat, and even embellished details to make the allegation that people in this chat were interested in cannibal fetishism over a Garfield vor meme. But why is any of this important? Within 48 hours, there were very important concerns being brought up towards DogPack and Rosanna Pansino. In that video, they came to the conclusion that Chris Tyson had distributed what they judged to be CSAM. However, not only did these individuals believe that this was CSAM, but they had this image in their possession, uncensored, censored it poorly, and then distributed what they believed was CSAM to what is now over 1 million people. A literal day after the fact, it was proven that that was in fact not CSAM, and a simple reverse image search, which DogPack did himself as well, would have revealed that this image was never CSAM and was in fact an image of an 18-year-old girl. So not only did DogPack make a poorly researched false allegation against Ava Chris Tyson, MrBeast, and the entire company, but per his own assessment, he possessed CSAM and distributed it. Here's where CamNuggets comes in. CamNuggets made a video that was titled DogPack and Rosanna Pansino Did Nothing Wrong, and as he started getting criticism for the title, he changed the title to Rosanna and DogPack Twitter Drama Explained. Now, something that's important to contextualize here is that within this video, he defends DogPack of not just making a slandering accusation for the third time, but also defends DogPack of being in possession of and distributing what DogPack believed to be CSAM. And CamNuggets quite literally quadruples down on this.
Do you think it is all right if someone takes a screenshot or downloads an image of CP and then in an editing software censors it and then puts it on YouTube? Do you think that's an okay thing to do?
I think that's weird.
Sure. Why are you defending DogPack with doing what he thought was putting censored CP up in a video then?
Why am I defending it? Because I think the video itself isn't illegal. Like, it wouldn't break any law.
You're bringing legality into this. I'm asking you morally, right? I don't care if the video is illegal, right? I'm trying to figure out if it's okay to exist. My question then would be, why are you defending DogPack when he does this thing then, right? Don't use the law. Don't use legality. Try to explain to me why you're defending him without that.
I would say that he thought he was doing something good that technically isn't illegal.
Do you think it really matters what he thought he was doing to be good if what he was in reality doing was spreading illegal content, explicit content of a minor being abused and what he thought to be? Because those two things, at least in my mind, can't mix. You can't think you're doing something good and then get an image of what you to be a child being exploited or abused and then put that on a video and then upload that to a channel that has upwards of 10 million subscribers, right?
I mean, I think if you're using it as evidence of something disgusting happening in a group, then
you do understand to censor CP, you would have to download the CP and edit it.
Yeah,
right?
I know that. I said that's weird, and I don't know how DogPack can explain that.
You just think it's weird? That's it?
Yeah.
Because I would probably proclaim it's way worse than weird. That's probably
because I would
morally
assume
reprehensible,
that
right?
when he downloaded the logs to the entire group, the image was included.
And then he got that image, he downloaded it, and then he censored it, and then he put it onto a YouTube video, right?
Yeah, that was the worst part.
And you just think that that's weird. You don't think that that's bad for him to do.
I mean, weird kind of implies bad.
I think bad and weird are on very different levels of severity, dude.
I mean,
As a result of Cam's video and his egregious takes, where CamNuggets defends DogPack of potentially downloading CSAM, barely censoring it, and then distributing it to hundreds of thousands of people, as well as equating that to being better than Chris Tyson sending CP, his words, to a private group chat of only a handful of people, I started theory crafting and doing some layered research to point out why CamNuggets is a dishonest and bad faith individual. Here's the thread, which adds context to the community post CamNuggets made, where he completely misrepresented me to thousands of people. So my thread goes as, gonna say it, CamNuggets needs to be blackballed. There's no way you're seriously going to sweep for this and neglect crucial information that DogPack willingly misrepresented these allegations and then attempted to defend them while being dishonest, claiming they did nothing wrong. Not to mention the fact you're completely neglecting the fact that DogPack is equally as guilty of what they accuse Ava of, especially after ignorantly misinterpreting and misrepresenting Ava's reason for looking at this image in the first place. Contextually, per that image, Chris Tyson probably didn't even consider the CP, but rather was concerned that Ivanka had a manager that was a potential pedophile. Chris Tyson even said allegedly 13. For all we know, Tyson probably didn't even actually think this was a child. That's not to defend Chris Tyson and her previous behavior. That's to be fair in the criticism for any reason Tyson may have looked into this image herself. But here's where it gets important. Additionally, it's entirely possible all of these people knew after conducting a reverse image search, Tyson and DogPack, that Ivanka in this picture was in fact 18 years of age, considering this image was present in several discussion boards per their reverse image searches. Even people like Damaged Sector pointed out that a reverse image search would have in fact made it very clear that Ivanka's age was in fact 18, quite easily at that. So DogPack lied about shady websites. One of the reverse results was Reddit, another was Informer. Why would any of these websites willingly publish CSAM? They wouldn't. You legitimately just lied and implied Chris Tyson willingly distributed alleged CSAM. Point being, I will not stand for this blatant dishonesty or attempt to obfuscate anyone's wrongdoing to protect them. Now, some of you might be wondering why I even think that's a reasonable assessment. Well, for one, it's because I personally thought DogPack was safe considering that the image was probably never CSAM at all. Listen to what I said in this video. Now, while I have been very harsh towards DogPack, keep in mind, I am only being harsh using his own judgment of whether or not this image was CP. Keep in mind, he judges that this image is CP. However, in fairness to DogPack, ultimately, this depends on whether or not proper authorities would be willing to constitute this image as sexually suggestive CP. In spite of this, though, if the facts turn out to be that this image was not CP by legal standards, that means that he and Rosanna both implicated Chris Tyson and MrBeast company falsely of having possession of and distributing this material, and misrepresented Chris Tyson's reason for bringing up this image in the first place. This is not to defend Chris Tyson or MrBeast. As a matter of fact, I think that there are a lot of things that they rightfully need to be criticized for. But DogPack, making this monumental screw-up, have directly given MrBeast and Chris Tyson a win, and it has tarnished his credibility and trust. To add more credence to this theory, I have to bring up some wider context, which was also featured in this debate between me and CamNuggets.
DogPack here, I received access to the work chats not knowing there was potential CP. Obviously, when I saw it, I reverse image searched it, thinking it was probably fake news. Cursory search revealed nothing conclusive, and I obviously didn't want to dig deeper through weird websites. By the way, this is also a lie because those websites weren't weird. When we see the fucking reverse image search in his in the video, it literally just shows Reddit and infographic. Those websites would literally not be fucking publishing CP by in any means. If he actually did his research and looked at those websites, which he probably did, he would learn that Ivanka Trump was actually 18. So I censored the image, meaning he had to censor the original naked image, which he assumed was CP per this fucking per this Reddit statement, and deleted the source, which means at some point he actually did have what he believed to be CP in his fucking hard drive. And in another reply to this fucking initial tweet, he says he tells Cam Enfix essentially that I copy pasted the image. That you do realize that per the law, having data of that image in any way, shape, or form is still illegal. If it can be reproduced into a discernible image, it is still illegal. Developed film, undeveloped video tapes, that means if it wasn't even visible from the get-go, it would still be illegal no matter what. If it was undeveloped and you can't see it, as long as it's stored in some way, that is still illegal. And electronically stored data that can be converted into a visual image. So he did have electronically stored data. So if he believed that that was CP, he was himself committing a crime. Why did you not point that out in your video? You pulled up this same exact fucking law, by the way, in your video to try to defend DogPack. If you read this portion, you could have criticized DogPack of fucking doing this exact same thing that he accused Ava of without actually doing his due diligence and potentially Ava herself not even believing that this could have been CP. There's multiple layers of the amount
when she sent it.
She didn't need to censor it. Potentially because she probably believed it wasn't even actually CP.
Where are you
because
getting
what
that logic from? Why would you send
getting
a picture you don't think is CP and say, I think this is a 13-year-old?
Okay, where do I get the logic from?
Yeah,
because
if I send you a picture of a naked kid and say, oh, I think this is a naked kid.
Was the image a naked kid, by the way? Keep in mind. Was the image a naked kid?
That's not where we're at yet.
No, that is where we're at. You brought it up.
If I send you what I think is a naked kid, and then you search it up and be like, oh no, this is actually a midget or something.
Can you tell me definitively that Ava actually thought that was a naked kid? Because she did use the word allegedly.
Can you show me the part where she didn't say, I think this is allegedly a 13-year-old?
Oh, I can actually. I'm so glad you said that because you're walking yourself back into a fucking hole. I can show you. I can't show you that.
Okay, how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna do that?
Because it was in their fucking video.
Let's see.
It was literally in their fucking video.
Where?
So in this picture, pull it up, Simpleton. He literally says, so this photo is allegedly of Ivanka Trump when she was 13.
Why would you send what is allegedly a 13-year-old naked?
Because look, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a lesson. I'm going to give you a little bit of I'm going to give you a lesson about how hashes and CSAM works on the internet, by the way. If this image was around the internet, keep in mind, Tyson probably found this off of people making conspiracy theories at the time because this image was floating around a lot back then in conspiratorial boards. Chances, if this image was actually CP, Chris Tyson probably wouldn't have been able to get any semblance of it at all because it would have been scrubbed from the internet so fucking fast. I don't know if you were around back then when 4chan had a CP issue, but when people would post images that were even remotely alleged to be CP and then it turns out they actually weren't, those boards were scrubbed so fucking fast. We
don't have any of this context from this conversation. I think it's all irrelevant that you're
okay. We don't have any of this context from this conversation, right? Which is why it's important. Which is why it's important. We don't have. No. She didn't think she didn't think it was 13. She said it was allegedly 13. Since we want to talk about semantics here, which is something that DogPack himself does, by the way, since he's so busy saying that he only allegedly said things in his videos. So if you're willing to defend DogPack for only making alleged allegations that weren't 100% confirmed or definitive by him, you also have to give that same logical consistency to Chris Tyson. Which is why I say fair representation. Yes, it does. Fair representation. Yes, it does. Fair representation is incredibly important. Like I said, would you want fair representation? Yes or no?
That doesn't make sense in this context. Look at that. Even at the bottom, it says, "How is this shit not being addressed?"
He literally says her modeling agent John Casablancas has been accused of pedophilia. His concern is Casablancas per the fucking context. And as a matter of fact, I had somebody dig into this fucking thread, and we did find it, by the way. That thread was entirely about Casablancas. So per the context and the fucking thread that he linked in this fucking chat, it is entirely possible that Chris Tyson probably didn't even consider any of this to be CP at all by any standards.
How are you coming to that conclusion?
Because it's called doing layered research, moron! Something you can't do!
How are you going to research something that doesn't have context? You're making things up, acting like it's facts.
So I want to jump in here because I'm pretty sure some eagle-eyed viewers are going to notice that Cams accuses me of making stuff up, yet if you've been paying attention to the images I've been editing on screen, I didn't make any of that up. I provided receipts and evidence for everything that I claimed in that debate. I never spoke out of my ass. So to be clear, everything that I said was in fact within context and did in fact have real receipts. Cam simply just doesn't do his research and doesn't know anything about the situation at hand.
It's called fair. It's called fair assessment. It's called fair assessment. I'm saying, if you want to accuse Chris Tyson of her believing this was 100% CP, then you also have to give that same accusation to DogPack and then guilt him accordingly. Yes or no?
What are you asking? DogPack did not post an uncensored photo of a 13-year-old to a group.
If you want to, what Gamma's doing is providing context for the wider conversation Chris Tyson was having, correct?
No. None of that context is relevant in this screenshot. There's no need to add context for something that doesn't exist.
But it does exist, and in this video, I provide examples for everything that I claimed. You're literally just lying because you're incapable of doing research or informing yourself. You are also unwilling to acknowledge this research or do further research yourself because you'd rather be biased and, in some cases, unfairly represent people or side with them when they don't deserve to be sided with. As a matter of fact, CamNuggets, you say that I'm sweeping and that none of this makes sense. However, even your friend DogPack, the guy you're willing to defend, agrees with me on a technicality. This means that DogPack is equally as open to the idea that Ava possibly didn't fully believe this image was CSAM. Of course, that's not to defend Chris Tyson, not at all. It's to open the discussion up to the fact that both DogPack and Tyson could have possibly knew that this wasn't CP. If I'm going to give that assessment to DogPack, which I did in my video, then I also have to be logically consistent and also provide that assessment to Ava Chris Tyson. Of course, this opens up the conversation to something else entirely, which is additionally a theory. It is possible that DogPack knew that this image was actually not CP the entire time, and potentially even falsely accused Ava Chris Tyson of distributing CP. And again, just to double down, DogPack himself would say that he didn't falsely accuse anyone because Ava only alleged that this image was 13 years old, and not a definite sign that Chris Tyson knew it was in fact CP, or more appropriately, CSAM. This brings me to another point. Per Cam's own logic or line of logics, he is more than willing to obfuscate facts and deny people the right to be fairly analyzed and looked into, to clear people of wrongdoing, or to assess them of guilt.
This gives me another interesting point that I want to bring up. If I actually did think that you sent me a picture of a minor and then I accused you of being a pedophile, would you not want fair representation?
If your proof was that I said, hey, look at this kid, then I would not want fair representation because that's what I did.
Wait, what? You just be like, oh yeah, it's a fair cop. It's a fair cop.
Yeah, I mean, if I sent him if I sent him something I thought was CP and he goes on Twitter and says, look at Cam sending me CP, I can't be like, you silly Billy, that was actually a porn star.
Do you admit it? Do you know? Do you realize what you admitted to right now?
Are you dumb?
No, do you realize what you admitted to right now?
Let's hear it. Let's hear your rocket
You literally admitted right now that you think it is perfectly fine for people to fucking slander other individuals and then not represent, like, not have any sort of fair assessment.
Stupid?
That's literally what you admitted to right now.
Stupid?
Listen.
If you
sent me an image of what you presume to be as a minor and I called you a fucking pedophile, would you not want fair representation?
If I sent you what I thought was CP, and you went on Twitter with a screenshot saying, bruh, this guy just sent me CP. That is, what are you even arguing?
Would you not want people, if I falsely accused you of something, would you not want people to step in and be like, well, actually, I recognize that image. That's not CP at all. You just falsely accused that guy. Would you not want that to happen?
That's fucking stupid because the context
you mean that's stupid?
Bro, you can actually go to prison for that. False allegation.
What do you mean?
How is that a false accusation if I thought it was
CP? How are you not getting that, bro?
Actually fucking stupid and not listening.
So he actually doubles down on this a couple of times. And in the past, he has made videos where he accused people of things they simply didn't do or misrepresents them. Cam has falsely accused Logan Paul of pushing his dog off a boat when evidence shows that that was never the case. Cam also misrepresents a smaller YouTuber known as ETK for ruining a young girl's life in a video, not giving ETK the benefit of the doubt that ETK has his own prerogatives and claims ETK went into this intentionally ruining her life over jokes, which is funny to mention considering the fact that what he did in this video would make him a complete hypocrite in comparison to statements he made about Chud Logic, where he also throws Chud Logic under the bus for reacting to a video in full despite it arguably being fair use.
But in this case, I'm on Dark Viper's side. I think that if you are going to watch someone's entire content without their permission, and you're not going to at least do the due diligence of editing, like if it's just you talking, doing something like this. Oh, face cam mode. If I'm just going to, pause halfway through the video and add my own context, and maybe I'll have a script written up and I'll read the script and give more context, give my own opinions. If you're just going to watch someone's entire video and then pause it occasionally to insult them, you're not adding anything. You can argue that it is fair use, but if you were to go to a court and the judge was like, okay, Dark Viper's original video, 10 minutes, your original video, 30 minutes, 10 minutes of said video was Dark Viper's video. So only 2/3 of your content was original, but it only existed because you paused the other guy's content if that makes any sense.
So Cam argues that Chud Logic deserved to be struck down by Dark Viper because Chud watched Dark Viper's 9-minute video in full, yet added 30+ minutes of commentary. Yet funnily enough, CamNuggets does the exact same thing, which means per his logic, he deserves the same treatment.
He's 13-minute video, which I do a reaction on that ends up being a whole lot longer. What do we gain from this? Just the idea that we've ruined a mentally ill girl's life?
Not to mention the fact that Cam completely disregards the facts of the situation and essentially smears Chud Logic here over his own vague assessment of the law. There is not a single thing that Cam isn't willing to lie about or obfuscate to paint a certain narrative. He is willing to lie about so many different things, so to avoid this video being too long, I will just speedrun some things he lied about in the Himpleton debate. He lied about DogPack uploading what he believed was a fully blurred image, and he also lied about knowing that it was only a partially censored image.
Cam, this is a quote tweet of the original Rosanna censor. This was her tweet when that video was first published. That post that is unavailable, that shows the first censor of the red bars. To claim that you had no idea to claim the lyrics that you had no idea that that's why people were upset is fucking egregious, dude.
What are you saying? Why are you slandering me? What are you even saying?
Okay,
what, dude? You literally said
better. Word what you're saying.
Let's show him the proof. Let's show him the proof, and then you go ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
So Cam, we got this. This is the original.
Okay.
So now let's scroll down a little bit. Okay. So here is you responding to this thread.
That tweet, the post that is unavailable under Spondyle's quote tweet, is the original Rosanna censor that she posted on her Twitter.
How does what I commented to a guy named Legally Lolly mean I saw that?
Because it is under a quote tweet. Are you like actually sped? Yeah, this tweet was originally up, and you responded to it an hour later. To claim that this tweet was taken down when you responded.
Are you telling me that if someone were to reply, that means they also saw the original?
Yes, I am. Because it is literally a quote tweet. Because you had to go into the replies to reply to this Legally Lolly dude.
He lied about not scripting his content to claim that he doesn't remember what he said literally just a day before, when in the past he has said he does script his videos.
You're really just gonna tell me that you forgot, man? Come on, dude. Like,
can you just script your videos? Do you script your videos, DogPack? I mean, fuck, Cam.
Do what?
Do you script your videos?
No, okay, don't even pay attention to that. Can you just own the take, dude? Come on. Like, do you believe in this?
Believe what? What are you asking me?
In what you just said, that people are sweeping for Chris Tyson.
Yeah, I think there's probably some people out there.
Stamps that I want to mention, and then I write my scripts on Google Docs, and then I will be like, so in this part of the video, Dark Viper said that blah, 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 blah.
In fairness to Cam, he probably didn't write the video where he defended DogPack of uploading what he believed to be CP, probably, but at the same time, it brings up another interesting point. Someone this forgetful and incapable of formulating coherent thoughts probably shouldn't be giving any takes to anyone on the internet if there's a possibility they can't remember every detail to a story, because that could lead to obfuscations or misinterpretation of events which could potentially slander somebody. He also lied about my connection to him and tried to frame it as if we were friends so that he could turn around and call me a snake. The reality is that no, I never respected the guy. I never liked his content, and I've actually been planning on calling him out for being dishonest for literally months now.
What the fuck? What's
going on? So the reason I called Gamma two-faced is because we've literally talked in the past, and he said like he disagrees with me on things, but he respects me, and we followed each other, and I've had like good mutual conversations. And then I find out that he like made a whole thread on me and didn't even at me. So
I mean, it probably. Wait, Cam, follow-up question. Am I two-faced for like doing this right now?
I don't think so. I mean, you're doing it publicly. You're not like going behind my back. You didn't unfollow me and then make like a post about me saying I should be blackballed from commentary. Like, that just comes across as really stupid and weird. Like, you don't have to agree with my opinions, but...
Well, admittedly, this is largely irrelevant and petty, but 1, I never followed the guy, 2, I never respected the guy, and 3, we were never really friends, and the conversation really wasn't mutual. He came into my DMs asking me to also have egregious takes on ETK. I disagreed and said maybe you should be more good faith, and he said that ETK was a complete snake. That's the context of the conversation, and I did not want to subscribe to that notion. Of course, throughout this debate, Cam lied about many more things, so I encourage you all to watch the full conversation conversation over on Morale Live or Himpleton. So after Cam essentially smeared me to literally thousands of people, I had to clear my name to a couple of other individuals because of how poorly framed the image he posted on his community tab was. This led into another confrontation with CamNuggets where I explained the further context of his conversation for literally the 4th and 5th time and give him my thought process as to why I would even bother to explore different angles like that.
I didn't. I literally posted your thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you don't provide context.
These were your exact words. You said, it's entirely possible that maybe even Chris didn't actually think it was CP. If you just said that, I'd maybe be like, okay, that's just his like opinion, giving
That's what I
like
said,
the
though.
no, but you also added that's a bad faith assessment DogPack made.
Because
so
it
you
is a bad faith
assumed
assessment.
that DogPack
No.
is
I
bad
have to
faith?
stop you right. I have to stop you right there
Okay.
because DogPack contradicts exactly what you're saying right there. Because
Yeah.
on 2 separate occasions, DogPack himself even said that Tyson allegedly claimed it was a 13-year-old, which means that people that are taking the idea of it being CP as fact are wrong because Tyson alleged it, as in she didn't confirm that it was. So even DogPack is giving credence to that theory. Even DogPack is unwilling to verifiably
that's
say
not
that she
fair
believed it
to
was
do
CP.
because
It is fair, dude.
no, if
That's
I send
literally
you
also Cam. Why don't you just test this theory for yourself? Why don't you ask DogPack personally whether he believes that Tyson fully knew that it was CSAM?
I mean, don't you think the context of his post does? Where
No.
he said that this this is disgusting, it's crazy, this is being swept under the rug. Doesn't that kind of imply the fact that the photographer that's possibly a pedophile also knew that and Chris Tyson thought it too?
Well, not necessarily. Here's the reason why. Because at the time, 2019 to 2020, around the time when Trump was getting a lot of fucking detractors for the second election, people were shopping this photo around, and I have articles to prove this, of Trump potentially being a pedophile by what's it called, hanging around modeling agencies where they had underage women, and in a couple of these conspiracy theories, people were like, hey, wasn't Ivanka 13 at the time of this image? But the thing is, that was only an allegation because everybody knew that that modeling photo shoot was in fact a Trump hosted, like Donald Trump himself hosted that modeling photo shoot, and she was 18 at the time. And even then, that's an obfuscation because Ivanka Trump started her career at 15. This is verifiable information. So if Chris Tyson herself was doing this research on Casablancas, which she was, considering the topic was not actually of Ivanka Trump, but Casablancas, he would have understood, or she would have understood, sorry, Chris Tyson would have understood that that image was actually not.
How does that make sense then? How does the context of Casablanca's being a pedophile correlate to an 18-year-old then?
I just explained it to you. Because if Tyson got this image from a website around the time or a conspiracy theory board, she would have understood at some point in time that she was actually 18, which is why she said allegedly.
Do you see like how those mental gymnastics might
it's
make
not
me
mental gymnastics.
come to the idea that you might be mentally unwell, which is why I posted what I
No,
did on
no, dude. No, dude, because lawyers do this. Would you consider lawyers mentally unwell for trying to like fairly assess somebody?
That's not a fair assessment, though.
That is a fair assessment.
An interesting thing about CamNuggets is that if you are a logically consistent individual that is willing to explore different avenues of how people may be more innocent or more guilty, he considers that to be a symptom of someone who is mentally ill, which is why he made the post against me per his logic. So in order to prove what I'm doing here is fair, I asked CamNuggets a hypothetical question.
Cam, listen. Say for example, some guy gets murdered, right?
Yeah.
This guy goes this guy's at the scene of the crime. He goes home, police are at his house, and he has blood in his hands. That guy gets arrested and is immediately assumed to be convicted of murder. Would you not want to explore the possibility that maybe this guy was trying to save this guy's life by covering the wound?
I would agree with you, but those don't correlate. Those two comparisons. I would use that same example. The guy with blood on his hands.
No, you guys
is like
no, listen.
Is also like a schizophrenic and tells the cop, "I think I killed that guy."
and then you'd be like, oh, well, we got to give him a fair trial because he might be just schizophrenic and didn't
but
actually kill him.
This goes to show how completely uneducated and dumb CamNuggets actually is, because even if somebody does confess to a crime, even if they are schizophrenic, there are literally laws that protect you from confessing to a crime you didn't commit, and you are still entitled to fair representation and entitled to an investigation. The term is literally called corpus delicti, and it's a common law Latin phrase that translates to body of crime, which means that you are entitled to an investigation before you are convicted of a crime or you are convicted of any sort of guilt. So what Cam is doing here is that he's being intentionally bad faith to attempt to try to smear somebody more than what he has to.
What I'm saying is like, okay, Cam, say you were the guy who was trying to save somebody's life and your fingerprints were found at the scene of the crime. Would you not want someone to go out and explore the options that maybe you were actually trying to save
Well,
this
they
guy?
do that. They do that.
Cam, that's what I'm doing here, Cam.
But what I'm saying is it doesn't matter. You're like,
what do you mean does it not matter?
Lock it down, both people.
Hold on.
Let's reset for a second.
People are allowed to have their opinion. Like if I say, yeah, even sending what the internet is alleging as a 13-year-old is fucking disgusting, I think I'm allowed to have that opinion. Like I don't think there's anything wrong. And you're allowed to have your opinion too, right?
That's not what I'm saying, dude. My opinion is that I think Chris Tyson is a fucking degenerate.
I do
too. But I'm also giving the like fucking the exploration of some, like, even if somebody was a fucking pedophile, I wouldn't falsely accuse them of murder. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's the thing. You're allowed to have that. I don't care about your opinion of that.
Okay,
like, you're allowed to have
I'm allowed to have that opinion.
Yes.
Yet you're calling me mentally deranged for having my opinion of
well,
trying.
You said I deserve to be blackballed for my opinion.
No, dude, I'm saying you deserve to be blackballed for like fucking obfuscating the what DogPack did.
Here's the thing that Cam doesn't understand. Cam is a lying, dishonest, malicious, and hypocritical individual that took me out of context and led people to believe that I was a pedophile per the comments on his community post, and was even open to the idea of deleting the community post. However, me calling him out and criticizing him for being dishonest and misrepresenting facts, such as obfuscating what DogPack did in regards to potentially distributing CP to hundreds of thousands of people, is not equatable to him posting this and leading people to believe that I am a pedophile, and he fights for his right to take me out of context through the entirety of this call.
We're always referring to a legal
okay,
standard.
then,
We're
Cam,
talking about anything.
Cam, I'm gonna offer you this I'm gonna offer you to concede on this one more time. If somebody falsely accused you of being a pedophile by taking something out of context, or let alone, would you not be upset at that?
I am upset at that.
Would you not want people to come in and say, hey, this isn't actually how it happened?
Yeah, they are doing that.
Oh, you would. Cool. You would. Cool. So you would have to offer the same fucking privilege to me.
What do you
per
mean?
Your own standards.
You would have your statements don't make sense.
What do you mean my statements don't make sense?
I understand you're upset.
You're being illogical. You're being illogical here. So what you're doing is that you're allowing yourself that privilege, but you're not giving anybody else that privilege.
Say what you just said again, because it doesn't make sense.
If people are fucking making false assumptions of you, you would want people to rectify that, right? Why are you unwilling to provide that same privilege to me or other people?
What does that mean? Everyone who's been accusing me of being a pedophile, I've had to explain how I'm not.
But you want others to understand?
They do.
Okay, no, well, not technically, actually. But would you want others to understand? Just like, it's a hypothetical. Would you want others to understand if you were being falsely implicated of something?
They are.
Okay.
Well, would you?
I'm literally being falsely accused of things, and they are understanding.
Something funny to point out here is that this is literally the 4chan IQ test. If you ask someone a hypothetical, such as, how would you feel if you had breakfast this morning? A low IQ person's brain wouldn't understand the hypothetical and answer, but I did, instead of theorizing an alternate scenario. CamNuggets is literally a low IQ individual. Let's not forget the hypocrisy that he exhibits here. I'm gonna show you a clip. If he cares so much about context and potentially ruining someone's lives, why did he take me out of context and imply I'm mentally deranged, leading other people to assume that I'm a pedophile?
Body shamed her, Asian fish shamed her, whatever the case may be, all based on, some screenshots and a lot of stuff out of context. Again, it's kind of hard to say like the salute is out of context, but dark humor is very dark humor. If you're doing things in like a server or a private call that you have a tight niche and tight click with, you can do things, and sometimes you might do things that are a little too offensive and too edgy. More of that like 2016 type of humor. Again, I'm not defending it. I think it's dumb.
So, CamNuggets, you care about screenshots being out of context, potentially ruining someone's lives, but per your own logic, you should concede on anything said about her because she said what she said. Isn't that what you told me? That I said what I said?
Cam, the difference is that 2,000 thousands of people saw your fucking post. Thousands of people saw your post verifiably, right? Because of the amount of likes that it got, which supersedes or overpasses every other fucking every other post you've made, right? That post has 3,000 likes and all of the comments and all of the comments. Dude, how is it your fault?
Don't start wars with people that
Cam,
are better than you.
Cam, the thing is, you are fucking like it's not equatable, dude. People are disagreeing with your takes because they think that you don't have enough information. People are believing that I'm a fucking pedophile. Do you not understand how bad that is?
Yep.
And not to mention, there's more people believing that I'm a pedophile than there is people that fucking don't take you seriously. There are more people that still take you seriously per your own fucking videos, per the views you get. If that's a card you want to play. You are literally admitting that you fucked me over significantly harder. It's not equatable. It's not equatable.
I don't think he's saying he's admitted it, but I do agree with Gamma's point that these people, because of how if the post was more in depth, saying like maybe making more of a informed rapport on his on his like take, I think it would have been a lot better than just saying this guy might be mentally unwell, because it leads other people into thinking that, hey, this guy likes Chris Tyson, ergo he's a pedophile, and your comments are definitely reflecting that 100%. Okay, like what I'm saying, Cam, I have a bias towards you. We're friends, but I think you're wrong on this point, and I think both of you, I think Cam, you should either change the wording of your post and make a new post, or you should just delete. Why not?
Nah, because it's stupid. That's stupid double standard. Just because my following, if my following is larger than yours,
that's not what I'm saying.
That's fine.
That's not what we're saying. We
No,
don't care about
not
the
you.
following,
I'm talking about Gamma. My following is larger than Gamma, and I reposted something you said to them, and they came to that conclusion. That's fine. If you want to share your,
they came to that conclusion because you were being dishonest and didn't provide context. Everybody at this point probably heard my context and can agree that I wasn't being fucking delusional.
That context that he has.
Let me give no, that was not the entire context, and you know this.
But now that we're on the topic of hypocrisy, what if I told you that Cam is the biggest example of don't throw stones in glass houses? So let me introduce you to someone that is absolutely locked the fuck in calling people out for their dishonesty and hypocritical standards.
Why, thank you, Gamma. My name's Beck and I'm from Copenhagen, and I'm here to tell you all about CamNuggets' weird Discord habits. But first off, let's have a quick style switch up, shall we? Now, CamNuggets has an interesting online history when it comes to Discord, and this would come out at the end of our conversation with him on the Himpleton stream.
FailTuber at CamNuggets, discovered by grift agents to have been active, perhaps staff, member of online Gooner erotic roleplay channel, The Gentleman's Club.
Yo, babe!
Here, a rudimentary Discord dating profile was found alongside various interactions with the deviants therein.
Now, this particular rabbit hole has a few twists and turns within it, but what's great about it is the timing, because it displays what Cam is like when he's on the receiving end of a false narrative. At the very least, the stuff that's been dug up on CamNuggets does display his inability to hold himself to the standards that he would hold other people to. That being said, I do want to wheel back to something else, because I recently discovered that an interview I had with Cam that I assumed I had deleted because it is largely fucking boring, I actually still have a copy of. And there were a few bits in here which are kind of interesting given the current context.
Did you see his James, I think it's James Warren pays for sex workers?
Yeah, I did see that too.
What's your initial reaction?
It's just, it's a lot. I mean, I've kind of, taken a step back. I mean, I am moving as well, so stuff's been going on. But yeah, I mean, I've made videos about DogPack saying how his newest video just wasn't the best. And then when he pretty much admitted, he came out and said he was wrong. The way I see it is, just because you say you were wrong doesn't mean you didn't do the damage, So I definitely have become someone who's more like, I'm willing to not instantly attack, narratives. Like I'll definitely wait a little bit. I don't mind watching it live on stream and giving a reaction, but I'm definitely not going to make a video
shouting to the high heavens like, we need to take down MrBeast. No, you know what I mean?
Which is interesting, because since we had this conversation, Cam has released 34 videos, 21 of which are connected to the MrBeast drama, even being charitable and removing everything involving KSI or Logan Paul. It would still be about 14 videos made on MrBeast himself.
Do you think that, not just for yourself, but this kind of thing has discredited you guys, potentially? The other people who've covered it, people like Surprise Witness, whatever his name is, the guy who looks like Harry Potter.
Quinthio.
Quinthio, and Echo from Above.
I definitely think it's gotten to a point where we have to be upfront and say we may have covered it too much from a biased lens. And I'm more than happy to say that I've done that. Like I even said in my newest video, like, yeah, DogPack's newest video, like it makes us look bad. Like we've been the one platforming all these ideas, you know, and something this brutal comes out not being true, and we've kind of like built an audience of people who aren't even willing to understand that. Like if you even say like, yeah, maybe this video wasn't good, yeah, maybe you shouldn't make claims about like a guy beating his girlfriend and without proving it first, like even by like waiting a couple days, we get like attacked and they're like, you're a beast glazer now. So I can definitely say we've kind of put ourselves in a corner by building that little audience. But, you know, I'm more than willing to say I'm going to look into this content with like a different lens. I don't know about the others though.
Now, I don't want to harp on the fact that Cam is obviously fucking compromised, and this is why many commentators are going to look at him and question whether he'd be a liability to work with. It seems a lot more fun, quite honestly, to look into Cam's history and see why he is so heavily incentivized to make MrBeast content. And I'll give you a spoiler, it's because CamNuggets' previous content, some of which was radically different. No one fucking watched it.
Zinnia began her weightlifting journey in 2022 and in just 1 year has become a real-life Marissa from Street Fighter 6. Rhea Ripley. Rhea is an Australian WWE superstar who has taken the world by storm recently for being the gothic muscle mommy who leaves every man and woman alike wanting to be crushed like the floor she stomps as she makes her way to the ring.
Yeah, I can see why you enlisted this, Cam. This content is ridiculous. You couldn't waterboard this sort of shit out of me. It shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody this motherfucker was caught in a gooning Discord. And that's to say nothing of his bizarre ASMR content.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome. My name is CamNuggets, and you are watching my first ASMR video. I don't really know how to do ASMR, but I've been getting a lot of requests.
Okay, who was requesting CamNuggets ASMR? This isn't a bit. That sort of person is a danger to society. They need to be looked into and possibly experimented on. Regardless, I hope they got what they want, because look at the fucking state of this shit.
Baby hands.
That is the face of a man who is already picturing the lamp that he is going to make out of your skin. Though, while we're here, it's probably worth noting how Cam first came to the attention of the commentary community. And it will come as no surprise to any of you, it was from having a terrible fucking take on a story that he didn't really understand.
I am not the arbiter of what is considered fair use, what is considered, you know, the rights to create content. Dark Viper has been on YouTube for almost a decade. I'm not sure how long Chud has been on YouTube, if this is even his main account. But in this case, I would argue that watching someone's entire video and just occasionally pausing it to insult them isn't as much fair use as you would like to claim. Even my videos, you know, even commentary content is kind of in this weird gray area when it comes to fair use.
Okay, Cam's response to a lot of the pushback he gets is he is just covering the story. But the Dark Viper stuff highlights the issues because he's not just giving commentary, he's giving opinions on what he feels. And most importantly, he just doesn't understand what the fuck he is talking about. Subjects like fair use don't come down to how you feel about something or somebody's coverage, they come down to what the law says. And even in cases where this has been tested to its logical extremes, such as Sargon of Akkad versus Aquila, obviously, The law has come down the side of content creators doing something as simple as changing a title and re-uploading somebody's content. And obviously I'm giving you a very broad brush approach because I'm not a lawyer and neither is CamNuggets. So why would he even have a take like this? Well, the answer is fairly fucking obvious. It's because he didn't know who Chud Logic was, and he thought siding with Dark Viper, a far bigger content creator, would be the safer bet. And if you're starting to see a pattern emerge, congratulations, you have better cognitive skills than the average 5-year-old. And what makes this kind of hilarious is CamNuggets is fully aware of what he's doing. The reason he has covered so many topic areas in the last year is he has been looking for something to latch onto to grow his channel.
I mean, I feel like with any like up and coming YouTuber, like they find that gold mine and they hit it. Usually it's like, oh, Fortnite or like Minecraft. And this time it's like news coverage. So, you know, for me, like I'm in the middle of a move, so I can't really give like an honest answer of like, would I keep covering this stuff every day, all day if I wasn't in the middle of a move? I don't know. But I can kind of blame my move as to why I'm not covering it. Like there are some people who like every day there's like still new MrBeast videos. I've kind of fallen off that. Like I can't really give my energy to that every single day anymore.
And I'm pleased to inform you that CamNuggets' opinions on the Dark Viper drama still fall apart under the smallest scrutiny.
You know, there were plenty of large creators who were in that same kind of circle at that time that weren't striked. The only one who got striked was the one who reacted to like the longer content, and it didn't really transform it in the way that Dark Viper defines as his like form of fair use, which
well,
is
he wrote a 17-page psycho document about it. I mean,
yeah, but like for example, like you know, even Moist, who he says that Moist tried to ruin his career by misrepresenting some of his ideas and whatnot. From that, he didn't strike him, even though he probably could, and be like, oh well.
Why are you gonna strike Moist Critical, one of the largest commentators on
the
platform,
I mean,
or Chud Logic, who at the time I believe had about 30,000 subs? You know,
I mean,
you know what? If you're gonna pick your fucking battles, are you gonna pick the dude who is much less likely to be able to fight back against you?
Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about the Discord servers, and please note that is plural, as in there are multiple we're going to talk about. Because shockingly, the first one that was noted, the Gentleman's Club, is not the juiciest part of this story. Nevertheless, let's begin there. The Gentleman's Club is an exceptional server designed to cater to the refined tastes and discerning needs of astute individuals seeking sophisticated and engaging online community. Established as a sanctuary for like-minded individuals, this virtual haven cultivates an atmosphere of dignity, knowledge, and camaraderie. Yes, that's right, CamNuggets levels of degeneracy would give Reddit a run for its money. But what I'd like to focus in on here is the colour of Cam's name in this chat. You will note that it is white, which begs an interesting question. Where do all these screenshots with Cam's name in purple come from? Well, that would be another server named Edgy.
Okay, like I want to date a woman from here, right? These were just all troll messages.
No, so there's two. Apparently one leaked from this Gentleman's Club, which was a server for only 18 plus people. You had to verify with your ID to join.
Yeah.
And I did my introduction, saying who I am, what I prefer in people. And you can just do whatever you want. It's kind of like a little swingers club of like consenting adults.
And were you trolling in there, or were you genuinely just trying to find someone to?
I mean, I just was in there to have a good time.
Okay, because I mean, the messages are out of context. They are just beyond words.
Well, you have to pay attention to what servers the messages are from. Like, for example, if I was talking sexual in a server full of all 18-year-olds where everyone consented, that's a lot different than me talking sexual in a public server full of all kinds of people. You know what I mean? So I think knowing which Discord each chat you're referring to is important.
You see, Cam immediately jumped to his own defense by pointing out that there were no children involved in the server, and everyone within the Gentleman's Club was ID verified, which would be kind of inconvenient for Cam if he was well aware that Edgy contained minors. Now, a lot has already been said about this particular message, but personally, I actually think it's a bit of a red herring. Though it is worth noting that Cam's actions around this incident are just fucking weird.
You reported to the mod, right? Did you leave this server? Because that would be my first thing. Is like, okay, there's a kid flashing in here, right? I don't know how long it's going to take for the mods,
well,
but
no,
I don't
that's
associate
not.
with this.
The server is public, which means moderators will come and do this. If someone flashes or like does something illegal, you report them to Discord and the mods.
You don't leave
But
the
did you-
server. It's not a common occurrence that a kid would go in there and flash.
But at that point, I would go, the fact that this has even happened, I'm going to leave. I'm going to distance myself, right? Like, did you at least like leave all calls? Did you just like log off?
Yeah,
that?
I left that call.
Did you move to any other calls in that server?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the meat of this. Cam's actions within Edgy and his defense of DogPack show that he does not give a fuck about the Chris Tyson story. Cam is well aware that Edgy is a server that contains underage people, but he is perfectly happy to make sexual jokes within it. He can deflect and say that this is trolling, but he is more than happy to call out MrBeast for making a dick joke in Chris Tyson's server. Now, is any of this on the level of Chris Tyson? No, of course fucking not. But it displays very clearly that CamNuggets doesn't actually have any standards. He's not even really giving his audience his opinions, he's giving them what he thinks they want to hear so they don't eat him alive. CamNuggets is quite literally the sort of person who will defend the distribution of censored CSAM if it's for his tribe. And I'm really not here to moral flag to you about Cam being a gooner. None of this is a shock. The guy has a poster of Rebecca on the wall, a character that even CD Projekt Red had issues around because of her lolly coding. What I'm trying to highlight to you is that CamNuggets doesn't actually care about the Chris Tyson story. He probably doesn't even care about the MrBeast story. In fact, I know he doesn't.
You know, I've kind of gotten fatigue from the MrBeast stuff. Like, I don't even care anymore.
If I have one actual issue with CamNuggets, it's that I can't stomach creators who can't even pretend to be consistent. Unironically, his MrBeast coverage would actually be more interesting if he was just honest with the audience that he doesn't think sexual jokes in a Discord including minors is that much of an issue. And he could do that and still be critical of Chris Tyson for things like the Shadman art, or the fact that Nathan, who was a minor at the time, was the one who set the Not Safe for Work channel up. Unfortunately for CamNuggets, much like his audience, he can only see things in black and white. You are either for MrBeast or you're against MrBeast. You're either against Chris Tyson or you are a nonce. And I take great pleasure in breaking the news to you that audiences like that have no value. It's why most commentators have no interest in placating the anti-MrBeast crowd, or even really making anti-MrBeast content at this point. Audience members like that carry an inherent risk, because they will do damage to your channel over time. It's how you end up with channels with massive sub numbers and no fucking views. Because when that story moves on, when they're bored or when you have a take they don't like, Cam, they will fucking abandon you. At any rate, thank you to Gamma for letting me do this over here because I didn't want to put it on my own channel. If you would like to check me out, you can find me at CopeandSeethe. Our content is incredibly hit and miss. And finally, because I didn't know where to fit it in, but I find the soundbite funny, I'll leave you with this.
When Rosanna covers it, it's kind of like, this is the facts, and here they are.